How about a road trip towards Pigeon Point? We're going to the glass bottom boats here in Tobago. This is another part in a series of videos covering Tobago. It's around 10:30 a.m. and we are following these vehicles going to Pigeon Point. Up ahead is actually the international airport for Tobago. We just came from a scenic view of a beach, and if you haven't seen it, make sure to look for the video on that, as well as the plane trip here. Now, if you're not familiar with JB's Man Cave, I like to keep it real and raw, not do too much editing, because I want to make it feel like if you are there in the vehicle with me, or walking with me, or in this case in the boat with me. This is where we are right now as we turn here. I would normally speed this up, but as it's our first trip to Tobago, I'm letting everything go at natural speed so that you can take a look around. It's a Sunday, so you may not see as many people, and unfortunately it was overcast, but as you can see, it's not raining, and that's a great thing. It allows us to at least visualize what would be seen if you were there. Quite a few stores and shops and places to eat around here, and some of them, even though it's Sunday, still active. It reminds me of St. James in Trinidad. I don't know if this road was recently paved. There aren't any road markings on it as yet, but the driving here was pretty good. Looks like a lot of buildings under construction too, or renovation. Probably building up stuff coming up for Tobago. Of course, you see a lot of tourists. Now the vehicles we are following is taking us to where we will go to the glass bottom boats, and from there we will actually go on the boat. You'll see all of that in the video, and you'll see what it's like looking around too. I am going to talk based on the counter on the top right. Whenever you see that a counter appears, it's either I'm talking, or I'll also have people in the video who are talking about what we're seeing, or giving us tips and advice about how we should conduct ourselves on the boat. Now, if you've never been on a glass bottom boat, it's quite a treat. There are a lot of beautiful coral reefs in Tobago, and the bottom of the boat has glass so that you can see. That guy that's trying to stop me, he wants to get tickets to the glass bottom boats, but we already took care of that. The guy in the last video who was talking to us about which side of the beach to bathe on at Tobago. If you didn't see that video, make sure to look for it on my channel. Well, that's the guy we're following. When we reach to the point where we need to park, you'll see him come out. As you can see, even Tobago, even though it's 2 minutes from the airport, another 5-6 minutes, you have another beach to go to. In fact, the whole of Tobago is one big beach and beautiful places that you could see and be. When last were you in Tobago? Tell me in the comments area. I like to hear you and read your comments, your experiences, what you know about Tobago, and so forth. And I don't want to sound rude, but some of the comments that don't make it to the comments area is the ones that try to tell me how I should publish videos, what I should publish, what I should say. You know, just sit back and relax. I am not trying to be like anybody else. Just trying to be JB, covering raw footage of Tobago. So you see the guy there directing us to park here. This is where we will be, and now we're walking towards Pigeon Point, where we will access the glass bottom boats. And from there we will let this guy talk, and you will hear natural sounds. I'll come back in when the counter is ready to go again.
I have quite a bit of people on the boat. You ain't gonna be packed, but we gonna have plenty of people. Right? It's holiday time. First thing, if you have a slippers, when you're walking on, you're gonna take off your slippers. When you're on the boat, you're gonna put back on your slippers. Okay. Right? Now, when we go on Nylon Pool, well, let me tell you where we're going first. Book a Reef, Nylon Pool, Coral Garden, No Man's Land. So we're gonna be out there for about 3 hours. All right? So 3 hours are fun. We have a little music and thing. So then people who like to dance up and thing, you're inside. The young people will just still go on top. The more mature folks and the children could go in the bottom. People who dance it and thing, you go on top. You're full of music and thing up here. Right, when you go Nylon Pool and No Man's Land, they have the fellas with the jet skis. If you're riding jet skis, don't ride away from the boat too far, because the boat going from stop to stop. So when the boat ready to make the next stop, you have to make sure you're there by the boat. Right? Otherwise the boat will leave you. So if you're going to rent jet skis for your kids, or you riding jet skis, make sure they don't go too far from the boat. When you go No Man's Land, you have nice food over there. As you smell the food, you're going to want to eat. All right, so we just tell you, don't order no lobster. We're taking an hour to prepare. Something within half an hour. If you can't eat it there, you could eat it on the boat when you're coming back. Right, so then we are not to worry about waiting extra time or people cussing that they ain't get their food. So the lobster and thing we're taking long, leave that alone. The regular thing we could get within half an hour, we're good to go. All right, so we're going and have 3 hours of fun. Cool runnings, Mr. Mika. Everybody go have a fun time. When you come back, you're going to say you want to stay in Tobago. Yeah, right? So I go collect the card and then we board. Right. Yeah. So make sure to get the card and then we go stay on the left side of the rope. Right? You have the card. Oh, hold on.
Now we are actually on the glass bottom boat, so I would have liked to have shown you getting on the boat. However, it is in the sea a bit. I didn't want to be holding cameras and people all around. I try my best not to get people in the video camera because I don't like recording people without their permission. If they're in this walk across the centerpiece of a shot, well, that's fine, but not directly. So you'll see a lot of blurred times when I'm kind of going in and out of the boat. You can see us leaving and you can see one of the guys walking on the edge of the boat there, dropping a float or life jacket, not sure what that was, and we're leaving. Now if you've never been on these boats before, they move slow. They're not like speed boats or anything, so but part of the enjoyment is just relaxing and watching everything as it goes by. The guy who's walking up on there is one of the attendees of the boats, and he is quite charismatic. You'll hear him talk about the things that we are seeing later on. Now if you notice how the water breaks, even though we are very far out already from the shore, you can see that it's shallow, maybe 2 or 3 feet for the most. The way the boat is built to be just resting on the water lightly, not going in too deep, because with the reefs and everything there, if the boat was designed with a base that's too deep in the water, it will get stuck. So this boat is pretty much designed for that. It has two levels, the main level, and then there's a stairs that goes upstairs to the next level, and the captain who is driving the boat is upstairs. So you'll see the engines later move in, and in case you wondered how they're moving on their own, they're being controlled from the upstairs. Upstairs has a seating arrangement where people can also dance to music. There was a lot of music playing in the background, so sometimes I'll have to cut that out. It wasn't too loud to be an interference if you don't care for that. I prefer to hear natural songs, but they cater for people that want to dance or whatever. Trinis love to dance, so let's enjoy a bit and take in what we see and hear.
Right, good morning everybody. Good morning everybody. Alright. Welcome aboard Mr. Meek, alright? There's gonna be a ton-off tour taking you out to the Coco Reef, Northern Pool and No Man's Land. For your crew today will be Jordan, for your captain will be Adrian and myself, Michael. Right? We're gonna make a short stop at Pigeon Point to pick up some more passengers and some slight refreshments, okay? The red and white cooler to the back of the boat, that's mine. It has slight refreshments in it like water, soda. The hardest thing we have is ice, okay? No beers, okay? Right? Emergency protocols in case of evacuation. Downstairs through the windows, upstairs over the railing. That's not going to be necessary today. We are all well trained. It has life jackets under the seats. It might not look like much. We have stored to the front of the boat, okay? Have no fear. I am here. Right? Any questions? And I thank you. Alright.
Okay, so that was just some safety policy and basically him telling us there were drinks and stuff available if we needed it, and what to do in an emergency and so forth. I thought that was all good. I pretty much appreciated this trip as far as the service goes. The people who attended it, the boat owner and stuff, they were all very upfront with what we should do and so forth. Looking at the glass bottom there, you can't really see much. We're kind of crossing just sand and probably some seaweed. Later on you will see the coral, and the guy there, the same guy, will explain to us. These are the boat engines. I'll take a look around, and as I do that, until I get to the next set of quote-unquote talking, I'll just let you hear natural songs, as well as I will have some boxes coming in with some facts on Tobago, which should be interesting for you to have a read. If you like that, keep looking and you'll see when I come back in. we're stopping to get more people on the boat from this jetty, and I won't really show that too much because again I don't want to record people. However, in the distance you can see a water park in the water. I didn't see anybody on it, but that looks like it could be fun. If you've been on it, you can always tell us about it. It's another beach area in Tobago, plenty beaches all around, and nice water to swim or bathe in. That's the glorious part of Tobago, the fact that they keep everything nice for not only tourists but for people from Trinidad and Tobago. And if you notice in the background, lots of coconut trees, something you rarely see in Trinidad. So the engines adjust itself to slow down as we get to that jetty, and then I will head back to natural sounds now. on the boat you could see somebody was doing some windsurfing. Definitely something would be nice to try, but you better be a good swimmer, because if you notice, he's very far from the shoreline. We are heading towards the nylon pool. You won't see that in this video, I'll save that for next. But you could see how shallow again the water is, even though we are far from the shore. You could probably just jump out here and actually just stand up, but it wouldn't be advisable because a lot of that coral is sharp. You could also damage it. That's what it looks like from the area of the glass bottom boats. When that counter to the top right reaches 0, you'll hear our friend who was talking earlier about safety and stuff for the boat. He will tell us about the coral. Very interesting. Up ahead you could see some other boats that were around, probably some fishermen, other visitors to Tobago with their own boat, as well as similar glass bottom boats to this.
Right, you see those rough brown corals down there looking like potatoes? Those are known to be the stone star or the mushroom coral. Trinis come calling the aloe coral because they look like the aloe potato. They take about 10 years to cook, which means I can't really cook them. The brown waving plants, those are known to be the sea whips, sea rods, local named dead man fingers. They move to the flow of the current. No current in the water, they stay very still. The goldish coral with the white tips, those are known to be the fire coral. Come in contact with these corals, they're going to burn, peel and blister the tender part of your skin, making you talk about 10 different languages at the same time. The goldish coral with the tubes, those are known to be the sponge tube or the mustard coral. They suck about 5 gallons of water a day to survive. Our own SpongeBob, right?
SpongeBob.
Have a day for the kids, right? If you're Find Nemo, you'll receive $500.
SpongeBob is down there. See SpongeBob? Patrick.
You seen SpongeBob and Patrick?
Yeah. I know where Patrick is. Patrick is a sea star.
So you're gonna do me a favor, right? So you're gonna look to the left of the boat. Just look up for a second, you'll see those white caps breaking. That's an indication that the reef is there. This is known as a powdery reef. It starts at Pigeon Point, go 5.5 miles in a semicircle and ends at Tobago village. Don't get carried away by those breaking waves. Go beyond those waves, you're gonna jump to about 100 feet and more. That's where you find larger predators like sharks, barracudas, etc. We have our own sharks in this reef. Is anyone interested in seeing one today?
Yes.
Anyone interested?
Yes.
And for those interested, I have a magazine full of sharks for you guys. The sharks we have in this reef is known as the puppy shark or the nurse shark, the most friendly shark, right? So good swimmers like me, go down, pull the sharks by its tail, you're just gonna find another coral tied under.
It's a big shark. It's a big shark.
What kind of glass you'll use on the bottom there? The bulletproof glass?
Where's the shark's dad?
Yeah, it's not magnified.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's the actual depth. It's right there, very shallow. You all see those white stuff between the corals looking like snow?
Tadpoles.
You all see that?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we call sand.
Tadpoles, that
But that's the same sand you find back at shore. That is crushed up, decomposed coral. Foreigners come, use them as a manicure or pedicure. You're gonna find that same sand back at now and put it next up, okay?
Yeah.
And the same sand is used to get 10 years younger.
10 years.
So you're already 50?
I get
I'm actually Don't tell no one, do.
10 years to get to the shore.
School of blackfishes, those are known to be the sergeant major. Standing in the lift, they're gonna nibble on your feet saying hi, hello, or get away from my home. That fish I normally come to the glass of the boat, right? I don't know why it's not coming today. It's a color lipstick parrotfish, a big blue fish, right?
I think I remember it came out.
You saw it?
A big
Yeah.
fat blue big. I saw it last time I came.
It comes to the glass of the boat so you can take pictures to post on Facebook, right? But as a myth, look in this fish eyes for more than 10 seconds, you'll be the next person to get married.
Hey,
be the next person to get the boss.
The young man that gave that information, I thought, did a really good job. He was trying to also be funny. The crowd that we were with wasn't taking it in that much. Some smiles, some laughs here and there, but didn't give him as much praise as I thought they could have. But he did a really good job, and he was also open to questions after I was talking to him off camera about the place and what he does and experiences he had and stuff. They were really quite knowledgeable. So this is not an endorsement, but if you want to take these people, this is the kind of tour you will get. I thought they covered it all well. They got us back safe and so forth. So continuing on towards the nylon pool, you see some of the coral, one or two fishes here and there. I didn't see too many. Maybe you can spot some. I put the camera as close to the glass as I could without getting too close. That way you could see it as though you were there. The last time I was in Tobago, I was a child, maybe about 6 or 7. So even though I experienced this before then, because it's decades and decades ago, it feels like everything was new to me. Anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this raw footage of our journey on this glass bottom boat. There's more to come in the next video, including other videos where I'll be driving around other parts of Tobago, showing you the usual raw footage to help you feel like you were there. I hope you enjoyed this one. And here comes a jet ski. Those things, I don't know, they're kind of scary. You have to be very careful with them if you do get on one. I think by the time this video is published, Tobago may have had new laws about it. Anyways, please do subscribe, like, let your friends know about this video. Thanks so much for watching.